Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kutikatas, a podcast where we bring you enchanting stories from Hindu culture, Indian folklore, and timeless parables filled with magic, adventure, and life lessons. Are you ready for today's tale? Let's begin! Before we begin today's tale, let's start off with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, say Om for as long as you can. Krishna Janmashtami, the birth of Sri Krishna. Have you ever wondered why we celebrate our favorite festivals? Welcome to the Stories Behind the Festival, a special segment where we unwrap the magical tales hidden inside every celebration. This Saturday, we're celebrating one of the happiest days in the Hindu calendar, Krishna Janmashtami, the birth of little Krishna, the butter-loving, flute-playing, mischief-making hero we all adore. But Sri Krishna's birth wasn't just an ordinary birthday. It was filled with miracles, danger, and the promise to protect the world from all evil. Let's travel back thousands of years to the ancient city of Mathura, where our story begins. Long, long ago, in the city of Mathura, there lived a cruel king named Kamsa. He was feared by all. His eyes were as sharp as a hawk's, his voice thundered like a storm, and his heart was full of greed and anger. But there was one person who loved him unconditionally, his sweet sister, Devaki. On the day of Devaki's wedding to Vasudeva, the streets of Mathura were filled with music, flowers, and the scent of sandalwood. Kamsa himself drove their chariot through the cheering crowd until a chilling voice boomed from the sky. Kamsa, the 8th child born to Devaki, will be the cause of your death. The king froze. His knuckles tightened around the reins. In a burst of rage and fear, he drew his sword to strike Devaki down. Vasudeva leaped forward, bowing deeply. "O king, your life is precious to us. I promise, whenever a child is born to us, we will hand them over to you. Please, do not harm Devaki." Kamsa's eyes narrowed, but he agreed on one condition. He locked the newlyweds inside a dark, cold prison, guarded day and night. Years passed. Devaki gave birth to a child, and true to his word, Vasudeva handed the baby over. But Kamsa's cruelty knew no bounds. One by one, the first 7 children were killed. She begged that only the 8th child was said to cause death, and to have mercy on her other kids. But Kamsa's heart had no kindness. Devaki's heart grew heavy, but her faith never wavered. She knew a day would come when the darkness would lift, and then it happened. On a stormy midnight, as lightning lit up the sky, a very pregnant Devaki felt a divine presence. Suddenly, the small prison cell glowed with golden light. Before them stood Lord Vishnu, radiant and majestic, holding the conch, discus, mace, and lotus. "Do not fear," he said gently. "I will be born as your son to end Kamsa's cruelty, but my life must be protected. Take me across the Yamuna River to Gokul. There, in the house of Nanda and Yashoda, exchange me for the baby girl who has just been born." With that, Lord Vishnu's form shimmered and transformed into a beautiful baby boy. His skin the color of the dark monsoon clouds, his eyes deep and loving, and a tiny smile playing on his lips. Suddenly, the chains binding Vasudeva fell to the floor. The heavy prison doors swung open without a sound, and the guards slumped into a deep sleep. Vasudeva placed the baby in a wicker basket wrapped in a warm cloth and stepped out into the roaring night. The streets were empty, but the rain poured. When Vasudeva reached the Yamuna river, his heart sank. The river was swollen and rushing like a wild animal. Taking a deep breath, he stepped in, holding the basket high. The cold water swirled around his chest, rising higher and higher. Just then the mighty serpent Sheshnag rose from the depths, spreading his enormous hoods to shield the baby from the rain. The river seemed to calm, as if bowing to the little divine child. At last, Vasudeva reached Gokul. He quietly entered the home of Nanda and Yashoda, who were asleep. By Yashoda's side lay a newborn baby girl. Vasudeva gently placed Krishna in her arms and took the baby girl back toward Mathura. As soon as he stepped back into the prison, the chains returned to his wrists and the doors locked shut. At dawn, Kamsa stormed in to see the newborn. Without a word, he grabbed the child, but before he could harm her, she slipped from his grasp, rose to the air, and transformed into goddess Durga. Her voice rang out like thunder. "Foolish Kamsa, the one who will destroy you is already safe." With a flash of light, she disappeared. Far away in Gokul, the villagers woke to the sound of drums and singing. Nanda announced the birth of his son, Krishna, and everyone danced with joy. No one knew that this little boy, who would one day steal butter, play the flute, and charm the hearts of all, was also the divine hero destined to defeat evil and fill the world with love. Krishna Janmashtami is a day of celebration. In Maharashtra, people celebrate with Dahi Handi, a thrilling game where teams form human pyramids to break a pot of curd hung high in the air, just like little Krishna stealing butter with his friends. In North India, temples are decorated with flowers, lights, and swings for baby Krishna. At midnight, devotees sing bhajans, offer sweets, and rock a small cradle holding Krishna's idol. So, what's the moral of this story? Krishna Janmashtami teaches us that even in the darkest of times, goodness will find a way. With courage, love, and faith, we can face any challenge. Happy Krishna Janmashtami. Until next time, keep learning and keep smiling. Jai Shri Krishna and Hari Sharanam.